The prisoner of the story opens aboard the massive alien prison ship Voidkeeper, drifting through the dark space between star systems. Captain Vex of the Altany Empire walks down the corridor lined with energy cells, each containing the galaxy's most dangerous criminals. Pirates, assassins, war criminals from dozens of worlds, all secured behind humming force fields. But one cell draws his attention. Cell 47 holds a single human male named Jack. He sits perfectly still on the metal bench, hands folded, staring at the wall. No pacing, no screaming, no demands like the others. Just silence. How long has he been like this? Vex asks Guard Commander Rix. 47 days, sir. Since we captured him on the mining colony. He hasn't spoken a single word. Vex studies the human through the energy barrier. Jack appears ordinary. Medium height, brown hair, average build. Nothing like the monsters in the other cells. Yet his file tells a different story. The human single-handedly destroyed 3 Altany battlecruisers, killed over 2,000 elite soldiers, and wiped out an entire orbital defense platform. All to protect the small human mining colony. The other prisoners fear him, Rix continues. They won't even look at his cell when they pass by. Vex notices this is true. The hulking Korax warrior in cell 46, a creature that once ate his own crew, keeps his back turned to Jack's cell. The Sylvani assassin across the corridor, who murdered 3 planetary governors, trembles whenever the human shifts position. Has he made any requests? Food preferences? Communication attempts? Nothing, sir. He eats what we give him. Sleeps. When the lights dim, exercises in complete silence. It's like he's waiting for something. Vex activates the communication panel. Human, I am Captain Vex. Do you have anything to say? Jack slowly turns his head. His eyes meet Vex's through the barrier. For a moment, the alien captain feels something he's never experienced. Pure, cold fear. Not the hot rage of a berserker or the calculated menace of a killer. Something far worse. Something patient. Jack's lips move slightly, forming words too. Quiet to hear through the barrier. Increase audio pickup. Vex orders. ... counting. ... Comes the whisper-soft voice. Counting what, human? Jack returns to staring at the wall. Silence falls again. The next day, 3 more prison ships join their convoy. The Voidkeeper now leads a fleet carrying over 10,000 of the galaxy's worst criminals to the maximum. Security prison on Terminus Station. The journey will take another 6 days through the neutral zone. Vex finds himself returning to cell 47. The human hasn't moved from his position. Still sitting, still staring, still counting in whispers too low to understand. Sir, Rix approaches with a data pad. We've received Jack's full military record from Earth Command. You need to see this. Vex reads in growing alarm. Jack isn't just any human soldier. He's a former Earth Defense Force demolitions expert, specialized in orbital strikes, ship-to-ship combat, and something called scorched earth tactics. His psychological profile contains one disturbing note. Subject displays unusual calm before engaging in maximum destruction protocols. Not just dangerous, Vex realizes. He's calculating. That night, the prison ship's sensors detect something impossible. A massive energy signature approaching from the void, not matching any known ship configuration. Sir, the communications officer shouts. We're receiving a transmission on all frequencies. The main screen flickers to life. A human woman appears, older, wearing the uniform of Earth's Admiralty. Behind her, the bridge of what appears to be the largest warship Vex has ever seen. This is Admiral Wells of the Earth Defense Force. You are holding one of our citizens without trial or due process. Release him immediately. Vex activates his reply channel. This human is a war criminal. He destroyed Alliance vessels. He was. protecting civilians from your illegal mining operation. You have 30 minutes to comply. The transmission cuts. Vex stares at the screen, then at his tactical display. The human ship is massive, easily twice the size of his entire convoy. But more disturbing is what his sensors reveal about its weapon systems. Energy readings that shouldn't be possible. He rushes to cell 47. Jack is still sitting, still staring, still whispering. What are you counting? Vex demands. This time, Jack turns and looks directly at him. His voice is soft, almost gentle. Minutes. Until they arrive. We're at 28 now. The lights on the prison ship suddenly flicker. In the distance, alarms begin to sound. 27, Jack whispers, and for the first time in 47 days, he smiles. Asterisk, the Void Keeper shudders as the massive Earth warship Retribution drops out of hyperspace directly ahead of the convoy. Captain Vex stares at his tactical display. In disbelief. The human ship is 3 kilometers long, bristling with weapon systems his computer can't even identify. Sir, they're hailing us again, the communications officer reports. His voice shaking. Admiral Wells appears on screen, her expression cold as space itself. Captain Vex, you have 26 minutes remaining. Admiral, your citizen destroyed. Our vessels. He's a terrorist. He defended civilians from your illegal operation. The mining colony you attacked was protected under the Geneva Accords. Your actions constitute war crimes. Vex's second-in-command, Commander Noyle, whispers urgently. Sir, our sensors show at least 50 more human ships approaching. They'll be here in 15 minutes. In cell 47, Jack continues his quiet counting. 25, he whispers. The other prisoners have begun to notice something wrong. The usual. Noise at the prison block, shouting, banging, threats has fallen silent. Even the most violent criminals sense the change in atmosphere. Human, Vex activates the cell communicator. Call off your fleet. We can negotiate. Jack turns slowly. No negotiation. You had your chance when you attacked the colony. When you killed the children. That was an accident. Collateral damage. Tell that to the families. Jack's voice remains calm, but his eyes burn with something that makes Vex step back. 24 minutes. Admiral Wells' voice echoes through the ships. Speakers. Captain, I'm transmitting the charges against you and your crew. War crimes, murder of civilians, illegal occupation of neutral territory. The Earth Defense Force has been authorized to use any means necessary to retrieve our citizen. On the tactical display, Vex watches in horror as more ships appear. Not just military vessels, but massive construction ships, mining platforms, and something his computer identifies as planet crackers. Ships designed to tear apart worlds for resources. Sir, his weapons officer reports, they're not just surrounding us. They're surrounding the entire star system. Vex realizes the scope of what's happening. This isn't just a rescue mission. The humans are preparing for something far larger. 23. Jack whispers. Commander Noyle pulls up intelligence reports. Sir, we're receiving data from across the galaxy. Human fleets are moving everywhere. They're not just coming for him. They're mobilizing everything. That's impossible. One human prisoner isn't worth starting a galactic war. You don't understand, Jack says quietly. It's not about me. It's about the message you sent when you slaughtered innocent people. The precedent you set. Admiral Wells appears on screen again. Captain, let me explain something about human nature. We have a concept called proportional response. When you harm our civilians, we respond proportionally. When you commit war, crimes, we respond proportionally. When you torture our soldiers, ... she pauses. We respond proportionally. 22 minutes. Jack continues counting. Vex's computer suddenly alerts him to massive energy buildups across the human fleet. Not just weapons, something else. Something that makes his blood run cold. "Sir," the science officer shouts, "they're not just weapons platforms. Those construction ships are assembling something in space, some kind of massive device." On the screen, Admiral Wells continues. "You see, Captain, when you took Jack prisoner, you made a critical error. You assumed he was just another soldier. But Jack isn't just anyone. He's the last survivor of the Kepler colony massacre. The one where your empire killed 3 million. Human civilians. Vex's heart sink. The Kepler colony incident was classified, buried in Alliance records. How did the humans know? We've been watching you for years," Wells continues. "Waiting for the right moment, the right justification. You've given us both." 21 minutes, Jack whispers. The prisoners in the other cells have begun to panic. The massive Corax warrior is actually whimpering. The cold-blooded Sylvani. Assassin is praying to her gods. "What are you building out there?" Vex demands. Admiral Wells smiles. A cold, terrible expression. "Insurance. You see, Captain, we've learned something about galactic politics. The only way to ensure lasting peace is to demonstrate the cost of war. Conclusively." 20 minutes, Jack says, and now other prisoners can hear him counting. A ripple of fear runs through the entire prison block. "I'll release him." Vex shouts. "I'll release your soldier." "Too late for that, Captain. The die is cast. But I'll make you an offer. Release all your prisoners, every single one, and we'll consider letting your ships leave the system intact." "That's impossible. These are the worst criminals in the galaxy." Jack stands up slowly, moving for the first time in 47 days. 19 minutes, Captain. You'd better decide quickly." The prison ship Void Keeper trembles as massive human vessels surround the convoy. Captain Vex stares at his tactical display, counting over 200 ships of unknown design. His hands shake as he processes Admiral Wells' ultimatum. "Sir," Commander Weil reports, "we're receiving surrender demands from 12 other species. The Carillion Republic, the Helix Federation, even the Synthetic Collective. They're all demanding we release our prisoners immediately." "That's impossible. How do they even know about this convoy?" Admiral Wells appears on screen again, her expression grim. "Captain, it appears you don't understand the situation. This isn't just about one human prisoner anymore. When you attacked the mining colony, you violated the Sacred Accords, the treaty that protects civilian populations across the galaxy." In cell 47, Jack continues his countdown. 18 minutes. But now he's moving, stretching muscles that haven't been used. In weeks, other prisoners watch in terrified silence. The Sacred Accords were signed by every major species. Wells continues, including humanity. When you broke them, you gave us legal authority to act as galactic peacekeepers. Vex's science officer interrupts with a trembling voice. "Sir, our long-range sensors are detecting human fleets in 17 different star systems. They're not just here, they're everywhere." "What do you want?" Vex demands. "Justice," Wells replies simply, "and assurance that this never happens again." 17 minutes, Jack whispers, and begins doing push-ups. Perfectly controlled, perfectly silent. The sound of his breathing is the only noise in the entire prison block. The massive Corax warrior in cell 46 finally breaks. What is he counting down to? He roars. What happens at 0? Jack pauses mid-push-up and looks directly at the alien. Monster. The end of the old ways? Commander Noel displays new sensor data. "Sir, we're detecting massive energy signatures from the human construction ships. They're building something around the star itself." Admiral Wells nods. "That's correct. We call it a solar tap. It harnesses the complete energy output of a star for approximately 37 minutes. Enough power to double. She pauses meaningfully. 2. What? Vex whispers. To crack every world in this system. To turn every planet into asteroid fields. To send a message that will be heard across the galaxy. 16 minutes, Jack says, returning to his exercises. The truth hits Vex like a physical blow. You're not here to rescue him. You're here to make an example. Now you're learning, Wells confirms. For too long, the galaxy has operated under the assumption that civilians are acceptable targets. That colonies can be attacked without consequence. That the strong can prey on the weak. Without retribution. 15 minutes. The prisoners are in full panic now. Creatures that have terrorized star systems are cowering in their cells. The Silvani assassin is openly weeping. Even the synthetic beings are showing signs of fear. Sir, the communications. Officer reports, we're receiving messages from the prisoners' home governments. They're all offering to pay ransoms, negotiate treaties, anything to get their people back. You see, Admiral Wells continues, these aren't just criminals you're transporting. They're the sons and daughters of emperors, the heirs to criminal. Empires, the elite of a dozen species. When word spreads that they died because someone violated the sacred accords. 14 minutes, Jack says, and now he's standing at the force field barrier, looking directly at Captain Vex. You planned this, X realizes. The mining colony attack, his capture, everything, not planned, Wells corrects. We simply prepared for the inevitable. Humans have a saying, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. We hoped you would evolve beyond attacking civilians. We prepared for the reality that you wouldn't. The science officer's voice breaks. Sir, the solar tap is almost complete. If they activate it, 13 minutes, Jack says quietly. But it doesn't have to end that way. What do you mean? Vex demands. Open my cell. Release every prisoner. Broadcast a public apology for the mining colony attack. Promise to honor the sacred accords going forward. Jack's voice is calm, reasonable. Do that, and maybe my people will be satisfied with just dismantling your battle fleet. Just the fleet? 12 minutes, Jack continues. Of course, there's another option, which is. Jack smiles, and it's the most terrifying expression Vex has ever seen. You can find out what happens when humans stop being patient. On the tactical display, the solar tap completes its construction. The star itself seems to pulse, its energy being channeled into the massive device. The power readings are beyond anything in known science. 11 minutes, Captain, Admiral Wells announces. What's your decision? Every prisoner in the ship is now staring at cell 47, where Jack stands perfectly still, perfectly calm, perfectly ready. 10 minutes, he whispers, and the universe holds. Its breath. Asterisk, the bridge of the Void Keeper fills with the sound of alarms as the solar tap reaches full power. Captain Vex stares at the tactical display, watching energy readings that shouldn't exist. Around him, his crew waits for orders that could determine the fate of not just their ship, but their entire species. 9 minutes, Jack's voice echoes through the ship's communication system. Somehow, he's gained access to the prisoner communications. Network. How is he doing that? Commander Noel demands. Sir, the security chief reports, the human isn't just accessing communications. He's in our computer system. Our force fields, our navigation, our weapons. He has control of everything. Admiral Wells appears on screen, her expression unchanged. Captain, meet Jack Morrison, former Earth Defense Force, but before that, he was our leading expert in alien computer systems. He's been studying your technology for 47 days. Vex realizes the horrible truth. The silence. He wasn't broken. He was learning. 8 minutes, Jack announces, and suddenly every force field in the prison block deactivates. But instead of chaos, Something impossible happens. The prisoners don't flee. They don't fight. They stand in their cells, staring at the human with a mixture of fear and awe. "You can leave," Jack tells them quietly. "The ships are disabled. The guards are locked in their quarters. You're free." The massive Corax warrior steps forward. "Why? Why free us?" "Because," Jack says, walking out of his cell for the first time, "in 47 days, you're not the real criminals here." On the bridge, Vex watches in horror as his tactical display shows human ships moving into final position. But it's not just the ships that terrify him. It's the data streaming across his screens. Battle plans, target coordinates, casualty estimates. The humans aren't just preparing to destroy his convoy. They're preparing to dismantle his entire civilization. 7 minutes, Jack continues. "Captain, you have a choice. Not just for your ship, but for your species." "What choice?" Vex whispers. Admiral Wells provides the answer. "Total surrender. Your government dissolves its military, accepts human oversight of all civilian operations, and pays reparations to every species you've harmed. In exchange, we'll allow your people to survive." "That's not a choice. That's extinction." 6 minutes. Jack says, and now he's walking through the prison block toward the bridge. The freed prisoners follow him like a strange parade. "Admiral, may I address the captain directly?" "Proceed." Jack's voice fills the bridge, calm and conversational. "Captain, let me tell you about proportional response. When you attacked the mining colony, you killed 47 people. Families, children, elderly folks who never hurt anyone. In response, we're going to eliminate 47,000 of your military personnel. That's not proportional. That's genocide." 5 minutes, Jack continues. "But here's the thing about human math. We don't just count the people you killed. We count the people you would have killed, the colonies you would have attacked, the civilians you would have murdered over the next 50 years. Vex's science officer provides more terrifying data. "Sir, our long-range sensors show human fleets moving toward our home systems. They're not just here. They're everywhere we have military installations." 4 minutes, Jack announces. "Admiral, are we ready to proceed?" "All systems green, Jack. Solar tap is at full power. Target coordinates confirmed. The freed prisoners have reached the bridge. Instead of attacking the crew, they simply stand and watch. The Corax warrior approaches Captain Vex directly. "Captain," the massive alien says quietly, "I have killed thousands. I have eaten the flesh of my enemies. I have done things that would make demons weep. But I have never attacked children, never harmed civilians. That is a line even monsters don't cross." 3 minutes, Jack says, and now he's at the bridge doors. "Let me in, Captain. Let's talk face to face." Vex's hand hovers over the door controls. Around him, his crew waits. On the tactical display, the human fleet prepares for total war. Asterisk. "Sir," Commander Noir whispers, "our government is signaling. They're asking for terms?" "What terms?" "Complete surrender. They want to negotiate before." He looks at the solar tap readings. "Before the humans demonstrate their new capabilities." 2 minutes, Jack announces. Admiral Wells' voice cuts through the tension. "Captain, your leaders are smarter than you are. They understand that pride is a luxury civilizations can't afford. Open the door. Let Jack aboard your bridge. Let's end this before it truly begins." Vex stares at the door controls, then at his crew, then at the tactical display showing impossible human firepower. 1 minute, Jack says softly. "Captain," Admiral Wells adds, "what happens next depends entirely on you." Captain Vex's hand trembles over the door controls as the countdown reaches its final moments. The bridge falls silent except for the hum of the solar tap charging to full power. Every screen shows the same terrifying reality. Human fleets positioned around 12 star systems, ready to reshape the galaxy forever. 30 seconds. Jack's voice comes through the door, calm and patient. Sir? Commander Noel whispers urgently. Our home government is broadcasting surrender terms on all frequencies. They're accepting human oversight. Vex stares at the tactical display. The solar tap has enough power to crack planets, but the humans haven't fired a single shot. They're waiting, demonstrating restraint even while holding ultimate power. 20 seconds. Captain. Admiral Wells appears on screen one final time. This is your last chance to be part of the solution. Vex hits the door controls. Jack Morrison steps onto the bridge, and he's nothing like what Vex expected. Not a monster, not a berserker, just a tired-looking human in a prison uniform. The freed prisoners file in behind him, but they maintain respectful distance. 10 seconds, Jack says, but now he's looking directly at Vex. I surrender, Vex whispers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jack closes his eyes. Admiral, stand down. We have compliance. The solar tap powers down. Across the galaxy, human fleets hold their positions but do not fire. The universe exhales. Now what? Vex asks. Jack walks to the captain's chair, but doesn't sit. Instead, he turns to face the mixed group of aliens on the bridge, crew, prisoners, and guards all watching him with the same expression of wary respect. Now we build something better, he says simply. Admiral Wells nods from the screen. Captain, Vex, you and your crew are hereby placed under protective custody. Your cooperation in documenting war crimes will be noted favorably in your eventual trial. And the prisoners? Vex gestures to the freed criminals. That depends on them, Jack. Replies. He turns to the Corax warrior. You said you've killed thousands. Are you ready to save thousands instead? The massive alien considers this. What do you mean? We're going to need enforcers. People who understand violence but can control it. People who know what it means to cross lines so they can prevent others from crossing them. The Sylvani assassin steps forward. You would trust us after everything we've done? I don't trust you, Jack says honestly. But I understand you. And understanding is the first step toward change. Over the following hours, the truth of the human operation becomes clear. This wasn't just a rescue mission, or even a demonstration of power. It was a carefully orchestrated revolution. The humans had been preparing for decades, studying every species, learning their weaknesses, understanding their political structures. When the mining colony attack provided justification, they moved with surgical precision. 12 governments have already agreed to the new accords, Admiral Wells reports. Military forces dissolved, civilian oversight established, reparations programs beginning. What about the others? Vex asks. Jack pulls up a holographic display showing the galaxy. Red dots indicate non-compliant systems. They have a choice. Join the new order voluntarily, or we'll help them make the transition. You're talking about conquest. I'm talking about evolution, Jack corrects. For too long, the galaxy has operated under the law of might makes right. The strong prey on the weak. Civilians are acceptable casualties. That ends now. The Corax warrior rumbles thoughtfully. And if we refuse to help you? Then you go back to your cells, Jack says matter-of-factly. But somehow, I don't think you will. He's right. Over the following days, as the new galactic order takes shape, the freed prisoners become some of its most effective agents. They understand violence, but they also understand its cost. They know what it means to be monsters, so they can recognize. When others are becoming monsters, Captain Vex finds himself assigned to a human oversight committee, documenting Alliance war crimes and helping plan reconstruction efforts. It's not the career he imagined, but it's better than the alternative. Why didn't you just destroy us? He asks Jack during one of their regular meetings. Jack considers the question seriously. Because destruction is easy. Building something better is hard, and humans prefer to do hard things. Even after everything we did? Especially after everything you did. You showed us what happens when civilizations choose power over principle. We're choosing to be better. Months later, as the new galactic accords are signed by every major species, Jack Morrison stands on the observation deck of the Retribution, watching ships from a dozen worlds working together to build research stations. Instead of battleships, Admiral Wells joins him. Any regrets? Jack thinks of the mining colony, of the children who died, of the 47 days of silence that led to this moment. Only that it took so long. He says in the distance. The solar tap has been converted into a power station, providing clean energy to 3 star systems. The ultimate weapon transformed into a tool of peace. The galaxy had learned a simple truth. Humans were dangerous when threatened, but their silence had meant something far more powerful than destruction. It had meant transformation. Asterisk,